how are we going to accept things as they change? Are we going to hold on to the past for so long until we're forced to change?
I think partially yes, and partially you'll realize within you the dignity and the grace of the benefit of the change. And human nature is a lot of we do monkey see, monkey do. When it becomes fashionable to help people, when you watch television and all you see are wonderful things that have happened all over the world that day, and you see other people helping, you will want to do that too. It is a group think, but it's also a recognition of service, and that's what's coming.
That's what's coming. And what I think is interesting about it is that service is so close to prayer, and right now we don't see it that way.
Well, I think most people are they're trying to survive, Linda. I mean, this world is a deep, dark, evil place. You know, millions of years ago, these beings were called to this earth. And they were called to this earth millions of years ago by Sanat Kumara, the Lord of the world that came here 18.5 million years ago to be the so called ruler of this earth. And these beings that he called in, their job mechanically was to hold the physical world in place. During the Atlantean Wars, people before them began to pray to them and use them for their own ends. And these people, these beings are now called demons. That's what a demon really is. That's what the satanic energy really is. It escaped. Its bounds, its job is to hold the world physically in place. So we have to get things in back to perspective. You can't do anything about that, and I can't either. That is something that the great lords will deal with. That is something that is being dealt with. Um, I'm not going to talk too much about that because it's a long subject. But the being that you call Satan, Saturn, Satan, who lost the ability to be called Lucifer at the Second World War, he was sent back to Saturn. He's not even here. There's no devil here. Hasn't been since about 19 December something 1947. Don't quote me on that. 45, 47. He's not even here. He's gone. You screwed up, dude. You came here to help people learn about the material world. And look what you did. So he's not even here. So in these exorcism, when these beings, and why would you believe them anyway? Oh, I'm the devil. No, you're not. No, you're not. So there's a lot on that subject. I'm getting, I digress. But what's happening is all of this is going to be straightened out, and it's all energy that will filter down from the higher realms into the mental realm, into the spiritual realm, the mental, the astral, and then the physical realm.
And that's there's a lot of questions I could get into on that story, but as it comes to this discussion, it shows how we can only control our own personal situation. We're not our part in it isn't to worry about the grand scheme of things because it's all happening.
Well, I still worry about it, but you're right. We are at great peace of mind when we know more of what we came here to do, specifically with each lifetime. That is in your astrology natal chart, by the way. And either with Ori, Hoary, Hori astrology, the Western, or with Vedic astrology or Chinese astrology, there are methods and ways of finding out pretty much what you came here to do, what you need to fix, what your lessons were, and the timing of that. So help is there. And do not for a second believe these few religious beliefs that that is demonic to ask questions. Don't be an idiot. These are sciences. They're soft sciences. They're into interpretation, but there are ways of finding out through meditation, through prayerfulness, through talking to people. And other people are pretty good at recognizing within you, as you are with other people, hey, what am I really good at? Or what do you know that I just suck at, that I keep trying to do, or this? You see what I'm saying? To ask people that you know and love, you know, uh, a teacher, I'm not quite sure who to ask, except people that know you. Find out. Ask some questions. That, well, you're really good at this, and you don't do that enough. You're really good at that. I wish you did that more. And so there are ways, and there are ways of being more like yourself, if that makes sense.
It does
We
make sense, and I don't think it's talked about enough.
No, it's not talked about enough because we don't really have the way to uh to interpret it. We're not taught that. We don't know the language. It really is a school. And that school is an interpretation of who we are, why we're here, what we came here to do. And why would you go to that school? You go to that school to learn more about yourself. Who are you? You're going to learn more about who you are. And some of it's good and some of it's scary as hell. You know, some of it says in the future, this option's going to come open to you. Well, oh my God. So what do I have to do to prepare for that? Or next year at this time, you will have learned this, or this. It's all in these charts. It's quite amazing. So we need this curiosity. And, my husband said this to me too. You need to lighten up. And I think we take ourselves so seriously sometimes because we're scared. We can go through these periods where we are just scared. We've been presented with new information that we don't know how to deal with. When that happens, all I know how to do is pray it out and ask my guidance. I say, dude, I need some help here. And I will always get it. I said, this happened last week. I said it last week. I said, oh my God, I just feel overwhelmed. I need some help. So I go to brush my teeth and I look at the toothpaste and it's in the shape of a heart.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And, that's really cute. God knows how they know how to do that, but they did. So help is always available. And I think I have found in my life, which is all I can express to you in my life, to say, when I ask for help, I know I'm going to get help. I know I'm going to get it somehow to lighten me up a little bit. Because I can worry. I can be a worrier. I'm like that. I've got this moon, Cancer South Node. It comes from my past. But a lot of times, worrying is you're trying to figure stuff out. There's nothing wrong with that, too. But we need to balance that out with, I'm going to chill. This is a cool way to think, but I really need to chill on this and get on a different subject. And a lot of times the answer will come to us. But we have to go through hard times. You're not going to create a pearl and an oyster without that little piece of irritant in there. So you have to try. And when we're having a hard time, we have to ask for help. We have to keep going. We might need a little break, a little rest, but we have to keep focused and keep going. Because I can guarantee you that's the only way you can get anywhere.
That's true. Because if we don't, we'll get stuck in the fear and we'll just fall farther and farther away from ourselves.
But we do, and to fall away from ourselves, that's a great statement. It's not the personality that we're falling away from because the personality is trying to ego control everything. It's the sole purpose. An ideal prayer for me, and I do say this a lot, is that I call back my spirit from any place I've sent it or any place it is called. I invoke 100% of my spirit right here, right now, all the time. In other words, quit trying to think this or that and sending your question marks or your little jabs out there into the world to come back to me. And that me is the soul. As we evolve and go from one lifetime to the next, we get closer and closer to what the soul sent so called us, which we call our personality, here to do. And that's a precious thing. And we will all get there, every one of us.